Yabba-dabba-dum-da-dum-dum-dum. And welcome back to Student of the Gun Radio. Welcome. And if you're brand new, congratulations on your excellent decision-making skills, or at least getting lucky. But we will promise to be gentle with you for the first 5 minutes.
Maybe.
Open up your ears, close your mouth, and listen louder. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the middle of the week. It is Wednesday as you're hearing this, or you may be hearing it on Saturday or Sunday, it doesn't matter, but we release it on Wednesday morning. It's the middle of the week show, and we've got a lot of goodness coming up for you guys. You are welcome. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Governor Moonbeam. That's right, Jerry Brown. More evidence that people in the or the inhabitants of the People's Republic of California have a mental illness, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Right now, we want to take a moment to thank our friends at SWAT Fuel. SWAT Fuel is the featured sponsor of the week. Been doing this for about 5 weeks now, and we would like you, if you have the opportunity, and I know you have the opportunity, take a moment, pop over to SWAT Fuel's Facebook page or go to their website, and just take a minute and say, hey, thanks for sponsoring Student of the Gun. Now, if you don't follow our Facebook page or you haven't checked our Facebook page lately, Jared put up just a real quick snippet, a little video. It was about, 2.5, 3 minutes long, Jared?
Yeah. I think it was like 2:45.
Tell them what the dealio with that little video snippet was.
Dad, as you guys know, Dad did an episode on Student of the Gun Radio about the main component of survival. I believe that's what we called the episode.
Is you.
Yeah, it's you. And how can you take care of yourself? How can you make sure that you stay healthy? That video actually tells you how Dad does it, how his advice on the best way to make yourself stay healthy.
Yeah, we focus a lot on guns and gear and bug-out bags and all the latest, greatest, coolest widget and gadget and so forth. But the fact of the matter is it's all just stuff. If you can't make it to the end of the driveway without taking a break or having a nap, if you're tired, if you're sick, if you're stressed out, all the guns and gear and gadgets in the world aren't going to help you. You need to take care of your body. In a high-stress situation such as, a post-Katrina or hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, civil disorder, whatever, it doesn't matter. Why do you have a bug-out bag? Well, supposedly you have a bug-out bag to use in the event of an emergency. And if you're involved in an emergency or a crisis, your body and your mind are going to be stressed out. So we talked a little bit about what you can do to ease that stress or help yourself get through it. So SWAT Fuel is the featured sponsor of the week. Congratulations one more time to our winner of the M1 carbine from Inland Manufacturing, James Shields of Ohio. James is going to be soon, if he's not already, the proud owner of an Inland 30 carbine. That's the 1945 carbine. It looks exactly like the one that your great-grandpa or your grandpa used, on Okinawa or on D-Day or what have you.
You want to know what my favorite part of that gun is?
What's that?
It has a bayonet lug.
It's a bayonet lug. That's right. If you live in free America, you can still have a bayonet lug. And you might want to ask yourself why it is that your slave masters in certain parts of the nation, why the slave masters have prohibited you from having a bayonet lug. Who fears bayonets more than anyone? Historically, I believe it's the tyrant. The tyrant is the greatest, has the greatest fear of bayonets. So you might want to put that together. Let me see. California? New Jersey? Where else are you forbidden to have a bayonet or a bayonet lug on your rifle? And isn't it like the weenies like Feinstein and all them, they get really up in arms about, there's a bayonet thing that you can put on it. Comrade Barry doesn't think we issue bayonets to our troops anymore. But what does Comrade Barry know? Not much. Well, it is Wednesday, and because it's Wednesday, and if you're a fan of the show, you know that Wednesday is our SWAT Fuel Fitness Talk Day. And Jared has a SWAT Fuel Fitness Talk for you. And thank you for those out in the Student of the Gun audience that sent him a little reminder, and he was reminded. And are you ready to discuss?
I'm just looking at my soundboard, and I have to play this.
Okay.
Guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Hump day!
Okay, that's all.
Really?
It's hump day.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're a retard.
Physically fit, physically fit, physically fit, woman, physically fit, physically fit, woman, nice, trick, fantastic, big tip on the ocean, the big Titanic, woman, and nice, sweet, energetic, big tip on the ocean, the big Titanic, woman, nice, trick, fantastic.
Thank you, Melissa, for reminding me what I was supposed to talk about today. She was the first one that sent a reminder. So, today is Epsom salt bath talk. What did they call the girls? What did they call that oil? I mean, the Epsom salt, the bath thing, the bath salts that they made.
The Menage a Trois.
Oh yeah, they have a Menage a Trois bath salt. But anyway, that's a different subject.
Something totally different.
Yeah. A lot of you probably know that how Epsom salt baths are, that they work for your muscles, but you probably don't know how. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit today. Epsom salt is comprised mainly of magnesium. That is the main component of Epsom salt. And what does magnesium do for your body? When it's absorbed, like when you're sitting in an Epsom salt bath, your body absorbs the magnesium through your skin, obviously. So that's why you take a hot bath. It opens up your pores and makes the absorption easier. So what does magnesium do for you? It flushes the toxins and lactic acid out of your body. And lactic acid is built when you do anything physical, a hard physical activity, a workout, a run, something like that. So the Epsom salt flushes out the toxins, flushes out the lactic acid, and it also helps your body absorb vitamins because of the magnesium. Magnesium helps your body absorb vitamins. And that is, there's a little bit more to it, but that's as far as I'm going to go today. I was thinking about next week. I want to talk a little bit about what other uses Epsom salt has, because there's a ton of uses that not just for your body, but also for like housework and stuff.
Well, you know what's I find strange or ironic is when I grew up in the 70s, Epsom salt was a staple for the American household.
Yeah, there's so many uses for
Everybody had it. And today we've lost so much of our history and so much common sense, I guess you would say. And I guess it is because Epsom salt is really inexpensive and it's simple. And so what do we have to do? We have to complicate our lives, and they have to sell you things that are way more expensive. But yeah, I can remember having cartons. You guys remember when milk came in cartons, in cardboard cartons?
No.
Okay, well, I do. Milk used to come in cartons.
Do you remember
Jared.
when it came in glass bottles?
No, it never came in glass bottles for me.
Oh, okay.
But it came in cartons, and Epsom salt used to be sold in cartons that looked like your standard milk carton, but obviously it wasn't. And
I think it still is, actually.
really, in
Yeah,
cartons?
Alex has some in cartons and then in bags, too.
Oh, okay, because every time I've seen it, it's been in a plastic bag. But yeah, I remember going to the
Plastic bags are probably
the
cheaper.
bathroom cabinet and opening up the bathroom cabinet for towels or whatever, and there was always a carton of Epsom salt there.
Mom, why is there milk in the cabinet?
Yeah. So, well, I want to acknowledge somebody who you guys don't hear about too often, but it's Zachary the Shipping Ogre. Zachary is son number 2. He was the final edition. And in addition to being the shipping ogre, he also is a cook. He's an aspiring cook, and he does a good job. We cook here at the Student of the Gun University in the official break room. Since Shannon still has not come down and made me my sandwich, I'm waiting on that.
That was one of the questions that we had for the
And
frequently
Shannon-
asked questions page.
Shannon made a
How
sandwich.
many sandwiches has Shannon made?
Oh, yeah. Well, we have a sandwich maker that's from I don't know, the appliance company that we nicknamed Shannon. But you know, it's funny, Jared, that you bring that up. All this stuff that's been going on here recently, the Oregon massacre.
Nowhere to be found.
I haven't heard anything from Shannon. They must be strategizing.
She must have found somebody to make sandwiches for.
Either that or maybe she got, you know what they demand.
Yeah, maybe she got some.
Maybe she got some action. Now she doesn't need to go out in public and chirp anymore. But no, Zach made breakfast yesterday, and I sent him over to the store to buy eggs. And have you guys priced eggs lately?
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah, because apparently the chickens are all on strike. But
We can get yard eggs out by our house for like $2 a dozen.
yard eggs.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, when we lived on a small farm, we actually had chickens. We had chicken coop, and that was one of the many chores that I did. Would I'd gather eggs and feed the chickens and so forth.
You know, when you have a group of chickens, there's always a cock.
Well, yeah, we had a rooster. You're supposed to. They tell you that the chickens will produce better if there is a rooster present. You need to have a rooster. So we did, and I'd go in there and I'd feed them, and then I'd gather the eggs while I was feeding them. Because usually, well, if you feed them, that occupies the chickens, and you can walk around and you can gather the eggs. But we had this one rooster that was a mean, nasty cuss, and you couldn't turn your back on him because he would attack you. You climb up there in the chicken coop, and there's not a lot of room in a chicken coop anyway, and this sucker would attack you. So I got to the point where while I was gathering the eggs, I would keep the feed bucket in my hand, and if he'd try to attack me, I'd whack him with a feed bucket. And I told my mother about this, and I'm like, every time I go in there, that I'm sure that the rooster had a name, but it doesn't matter, will try to attack me. And she's like, oh, that's just what they do. He's being territorial, and that's his job, and so forth. And she kind of played it off like, it wasn't that big of a deal. Until the one day that my mom went out there to gather eggs, and she turned her back on the rooster, and it spurred her in the back of the legs. And she had a bloody cut in the back of her calf from this rooster spurring her. And guess what we had for dinner the following Sunday? We had rooster. That's right. So yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal until my mom turned her back on him and he got her. And
it's the sweetest tasting revenge she's ever had.
Yeah, and that was all she wrote for him, and we got a new one. So, I was thinking about that with when the price of eggs and the fact that we used to actually just gather our own eggs and so forth. But all right, don't forget, Jared. Tell them, remind them if they're going to go to the SWAT Fuel store to use the promo code.
Oh yeah, if you go to SWATfuelstore.com, or you can go to studentofthegunradio.com, click on the episode and click on the link in there. That actually helps us more. If you want to be cool, if you want to be a bro of Student of the Gun, go there, click on the link. Use the promo code SOTG2015, and you'll save some money on your SWAT Fuel order.
There you go. Saving money. All right, before we get into the main story of the day, I do want to thank Century Arms, the makers of the TP9SA and the C39 rifle and the C39 pistol and the C39 RPK, made in the USA, Century Arms. They also sponsor the mobile app. If you don't have the mobile app, you have no excuses because you can download it for free thanks to Century Arms. Crossbreed holsters. Jared's wearing a Crossbreed holster right now. As a matter of fact, Jared, do you have a TP9SA in a Crossbreed holster right now?
Yes, indeed.
He indeed does. So check those guys out at crossbreedholsters.com. All right, this story comes to us from the far left coast, which means it's time for a slave state update.
I like to teach you all the rules. I get to see them set in stone. I like it when you chain me to the bed, but then you see me stand the show.
This one comes for you. What'd you say, left coast?
The left coast, yep. The story source is LATimes.com. In the wake of school shootings, Governor Jerry Brown bans concealed carry guns on California campuses. Well, here is the caveat to that. He bans lawful concealed carry on California campuses, or campi. But that does nothing to stop bad people, criminals, those who would use a firearm to commit an act of murder, assault, kidnapping, rape, robbery. Does nothing to affect them. But effectiveness is not what we're after. It's feelings. Because that's how we solve our problems. We solve our problems with good feelings in America. All right, the story is by Patrick McGreevy. He's a contact reporter. Okay. Reporting from Sacramento, a week after a gunman killed 9 people at an Oregon college, California Governor Jerry Brown signed legislation Saturday that would make the carrying of concealed guns on school and university campuses in this state. That would ban the carrying of. Senator Louis Wolk, Democrat Davis, said the bill she introduced several months ago is needed to close a... Grab onto like some duct tape or something here. It's needed to close a loophole. Dum 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 dum. Idiot Democrat talk number one. To close a loophole that allows people with concealed weapons permits to carry firearms onto school grounds. You mean in California they don't just give those out. You have to essentially beg the state for them. You have to get down on a knee and you have to look up and you say, "Please, sir, may I have a concealed weapons permit, please?" And in what we found in most counties is they say, "No, peasant, go away. I will not grant you that." And if they give you a yes, what does that mean? That means that you submitted your photographs, fingerprints, background checks. You probably took your form and had it notarized in front of a notary. You paid a whole bunch of money, all for the privilege. You have proven, I call those people like bona fide good guys, or people who have actually proven that they're good guys. But apparently Lois Volk was very, very concerned that was a loophole that allowed people who've gone through all the background checks and fingerprinting and paperwork and all that, because we know that those are the most scary people in the world. People that do that. The bill prohibits that practice unless school officials grant permission or the carrier is retired from law enforcement. Oh, you mean a member of a state employee? Because what do all these bills exempt? Well, they exempt the state. People who work for the state are better than you. Didn't you know that? All right. Well, if you didn't know that, I'm here to tell you that people who work for the state, who get a check from the taxpayers, they're better than you. They're smarter than you. They're more intelligent and more capable of defending themselves and using a firearm than you stupid peasant. The bill, supported by Peggy McCrum, president of the California chapter of the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence. Gun violence! That's liberal idiot speak number 2. Guns don't commit anything. Guns can neither be good nor evil. They are inanimate objects, you moron. All right, here we go. We've got a quote from McCrum. Would you like to hear a quote from Peggy McCrum? Jared, would you?
Sure, let's hear it.
All right, Jared says he'd like to hear a quote from Peggy McCrum. California's college campuses and K through 12 schools should be sanctuaries for learning, free from the fear of gun violence. You moron. McCrum said, adding, the new law will make schools safer. Woohoo! Congratulations, you are the student of the gun moron of the week. Hey, moron! Every school massacre that has been committed in the last 5 years was done so illegally because the school was a gun-free zone. That's right. The murderers who came there didn't give one rat's fat rear end that it was against the law to carry a firearm onto the campus. You cannot sterilize the world, moron. All you do is disarm good people and make sure that there are lots of disarmed victims. I'll say that. I'm being really, really conscientious to keep it PG, parental guidance over here. Will make schools safer and decrease students' risk of being injured or killed. Really? Is that how it works? So, malum prohibitum statutes make people safer? Somebody asked McCrum, if we can pass a law that will save one child's life, is it worth passing that law? And after she naively says yes, then ask her whether or not she supports abortion on demand, like they do in California. Hey, Ms. McCrum, how many babies were murdered in the womb in California, or pulled halfway out of the womb feet first and then murdered and then had their parts sold? Oh, that's a red herring there. Quit changing the subject. We're talking about children's lives. Yeah, we are talking about children's lives, aren't we? The action comes, they're redundant here. The action comes 1 week after our gunman killed 9 and wounded 9 others before killing himself at Umpqua Community College. They said the gunman turned his own gun on himself after he'd been shot down by police officers and realized that he was about to die. Some gun owner rights activists have, this is let me see, in the LA Times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 7 paragraphs down into the story, the LA Times throws their reasonable bone out here. What says, well, some gun rights activists have suggested that allowing concealed weapons on campuses would provide an armed counterforce to such gunmen, or at least a deterrent. And we have the president of the Firearms Policy Coalition. This bill will put thousands of innocent lives at risk, said Brandon Combs, president of the Firearms Policy Coalition. Criminals will know that their intended victims are totally vulnerable when they're on California school grounds. Duh. No kidding. Why do you think that these murderous psychopaths go into schools? Why do you think these murderous psychopaths go into elementary schools and so forth? Why do you think that is? Well, there's 2 main reasons. Number one, they go into schools because they know that the people there won't be able to fight back against them. And number 2, and this, I'm going to throw some cold water in your face. Here's the deal. The Muslim missionaries of the world are going to start killing our children in their schools. And they're going to kill children in elementary schools because that's going to create a horrible, tragic impact on you. And you're going to feel terrible. And they're going to do it. And you're not going to be able to stop them because of liberal idiots like Jerry Brown and Ms. McCrum and all these other knuckleheads who think that if we could just pass one more law, just one more. And you say, but California already has like an Encyclopedia Britannica-sized set of firearms laws. You can't own a gun in California unless it's on the California approved list. What has that done to stop crime? Well, it hasn't done anything. What is the California assault weapons ban and bayonet lug ban and flash hider ban and bullet button requirement? What has that done to reduce crime and violence in your state? Well, it's done nothing. And all those thousands upon thousands of Mexican drug cartel gangbanger type people that just flood over the border every year and are murdering your citizens in your cities, Sacramento, San Francisco, San Diego, Los Angeles. What have all your gun laws done to stop them? Well, nothing, but it makes us feel good. It distracts us from the reality that our state is bankrupt, that we're running out of water, that emergency departments, hospitals, doctors, and so forth are going out of business, closing down because they can't afford to give free health care to millions of illegals every year. Oh, we've got tons of diseases flowing in from south of the border that were otherwise eradicated. But we have people in Nicaragua and Honduras and Mexico and so forth that were never immunized against measles, mumps, rubella, smallpox, whooping cough, all that. But here they are, and we're going to force them right into your kid's school. You want to keep kids safe in California? Are you really serious about keeping children safe in the public schools of California? Oh, yes, Paul, we are. We're 100%. We're 100% serious. Then why do you force people that potentially have all kinds of diseases to sit right next to little Johnny and little Susie? Little Manuel from El Salvador, who never had a doctor's visit, and that's not my kid's fault, and that's not my kid's problem. Back in the old world, we had these things called borders. And we controlled our borders because we didn't want diseases walking back and forth. And you're like, oh, does this have anything to do with guns, Paul? Oh, I thought it was talking about children's safety. If we can do anything to keep our children safe, we need to do it. It's a lie. It's horse crap, and I'm not buying it for 1 second. Jerry Brown and his ilk are the definition of insanity. For years, decades even, we've been told, oh, if we just pass one more law, if we put up one more sign, that will stop bad people from killing good people. Just one more. And it never, ever works. And they never admit, wow, that didn't work. Maybe we should try something different. Oh, no, we need to try more of the same. Are you with me over there, brother? Are you down with that? Are you digging the sickness here?
Yeah.
Because I need to sip some coffee.
This next story is even more depressing than the one that we're talking about now.
It's more depressingly stupid.
Yes.
And, folks, I'm going to tell you this. If you live within the People's Republic of California and you are not a hippie, liberal, lunatic person, I really don't know what the F you're doing there. I mean, I get it. I get that it's pretty, and I get that your job is there. But here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't want to hear you complain. You cannot complain. You are not allowed to complain. No, stop. Stop. No. Don't tell me about fighting the good fight. Do not tell me that they're, oh, you don't understand, Paul. They're working, it's only San Francisco and Los Angeles and maybe Sacramento. Those are the only areas that are liberal in California. The whole rest of the state is conservative. No, it's not. You're delusional. How do you know I'm delusional? Prove it. Jerry Brown is your governor. Did he steal the election, or did he get 51% of the vote? Well, he probably had a lot of illegal aliens voting for him, because we'll just let anybody in California vote. We'll let dead people vote. You just got here from El Salvador? Go vote, man. Vote twice. Vote as many times as you want, as long as it's for a Democrat. This is how I know that there are not more conservatives than there are liberals in California. Jerry Brown. Jerry Brown, Governor Moonbeam, I didn't make that up, okay? Governor Peace, Love, Dope, Magic Fairy Dust, Jerry Brown. You knew who this guy was. This was not a shocker. You're like, oh my gosh, Jerry Brown is a socialist hippie retard? Where did this come from? You knew that when he ran for office, and he got elected anyway. Everybody in California knows that Jerry Brown is a hippie nut job. And he got reelected, and he is your governor again. Now, obviously, he's an older, more aged hippie, so it takes him a little longer to do hippie-type things. But, folks, come on. Stop it, California. You're in denial. I know there's a lot of you listening to me in California. You need to be intellectually honest with yourself. Quit looking around hoping that you're going to be able to vote your way out of this mess. It's not going to happen. The game has been rigged against you. You've been telling me, I've had California friends for 20 plus years, people in the firearms industry, conservative people and so forth, and they constantly tell me about the plan to fight back at the ballot box, and they're going to vote back, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to happen. The system has been rigged against you. You are not going to be able to vote California back to sanity. Do you understand that? Will you at least accept that? If you can't accept that, you're engaging in insanity. You've been telling me for, like I said, my friends for at least 20 years. Oh, no, Paul, you don't understand. This next time around. This next time around what? Leland Yee. If he wouldn't have gotten busted for gun running, he was running for what, Attorney General? Leland Yee, Mr. I hate video games, I hate guns, gets busted for running guns to the Chinese mafia. Leland Rocket Launcher Yee. Don't forget we have a special update thing for him. Folks, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, but before I tell you anything else, I'm going to tell you this, that your friends at Brownells, and my friends too, if you go to Brownells, they have a section called Emergency and Survival Gear. And go to your cupboard, go to your locker, check out your survival gear. If you woke up tomorrow morning and all the stores were closed, if you couldn't get to Walmart for 24 hours, would your family starve? What would you do? Or would you be prepared? Go to brownells.com, check out their new products catalog, their new products section, and the emergency and survival gear. And while you're there, what can you pick up? Well, you can pick up some Duracoat can-in-can technology, because life's too short to have an ugly gun. Also, congratulations to our friends Velocity Triggers. Velocity Triggers, they're being distributed by more and more online dealers and retailers and wholesalers, or not retailers, but, dealers. Thanks, Justin Finney.
I was just about to say that.
Okay, he sent us a note saying that there's a company called RifleSupply.com, who I was not familiar with up to this point. But RifleSupply.com, as we're recording this, has all of their in-stock Velocity triggers on sale. And it's something like insane, like $112.99, $112.99.
Yeah, it's cheap.
They're
off.
marked down. Normally, the MSRP is like $149.99, and they're marked down like $30, $40. So it's crazy. So if you've been thinking about buying a Velocity trigger, I don't know what you're waiting for, but you might want to jump on that. If you got a black rifle, they've got a trigger for you.
If you're in the SOTG grad program group on Facebook, go there, and that's where Justin posted the link. So the link is actually in there for you to click on and go buy the trigger. They got curved and straight triggers for you.
Oh, also, that brings up a good point, Jared. That's one of the many, many benefits of being a member of the grad program, is it not? Is that they're extremely active and they communicate with each other.
Yes.
And they keep each other abreast of what's going on, what's hip, what's cool, what's new.
It's funny because it's like the same group of people actually post and comment, and the other ones just kind of chill in the background until they see something they want to talk about, and they comment on other people's posts. We had somebody ask us, like, why is it the same people talking? It's because everybody else likes to listen.
Because they're just watching.
Yeah.
But you can. And if you become a member of the Student of the Gun grad program, Jared, a lot of folks out there right now are listening to me, and they're saying, what is this Student of the Gun grad program thing? I've only been listening to you guys for 2 weeks, and I don't know what that is, and how can I get involved in it?
You go to studentofthegunradio.com, click on the Become a Member up in the top. If you go to studentofthegunradio.com and you cannot figure out how to get to the grad program to sign up, then you probably shouldn't be there anyway. There's a big button right in the center of the screen, and then there's one on the top.
There's a great big button that says Learn More?
Yes. And
do you click the Learn More button?
You do. You click that button, and it takes you, and it tells you exactly what you get, how much it is. We actually give a discount if you pay yearly instead of monthly. But I want to talk about the Facebook group. For people that are signing up with the for a free trial, you get a 30-day free trial. I'm not going to be able to accept you into the Facebook group until after the 30 days is up, because you're not actually, I can't check it and make sure that you are in our system until the 30 days is up, until the free trial is up. I don't know why that is, but that's how it is. So what I need you to do, I've told people this before, I need you, when you sign up for the grad program, I need you to send me an email or add me on Facebook. I'm in the grad program group. Add me on Facebook and let me know the email address that you use to subscribe to the grad program so I can cross-check it, because I'm really adamant about only having grad program members in the group.
That's right. Well, and the grad program gets you, you're going to get exclusive access to celebrity interviews, the weekly bonus hour that we do, the Big Boy, Big Girl hour we do every Friday, and that's for grad program people only. The Tactical Tutor newsletter, private Facebook group, product offers, student discounts, and you have 24/7 all access. That means you have access to Student of the Gun Radio going all the way back to episode number 1. You have access to all of the Tactical Tutor newsletters going all the way back to number 1. So when you get in the grad program, you have basically it's an all access, and that's that. So I feel like this next story deserves some kind of a theme because it is that stupid. I know we didn't have one preset in the show notes, but don't you feel like that we should drop something in there, Jerry?
I want to play this because it's something that you say a lot. You say derp derp a lot, and this is titled Derp Song, and I don't know what it is, so I'm going to push the button.
Derp, derpity, derp, 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 derpity, derp, derp, derp.
That wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be.
Derp, 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 derpity, derp, 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 derp.
Derp?
Derp.
That's
Derp
all
song.
right. Goat rapists say durka durka. And when someone says something stupid to you, you say derp.
Don't drop that dirk.
Really?
That was also next to the derpa derpa.
Really? Okay. All right. Well, apparently that's that. Now, I know that all of you folks out there, that you pay close attention to what's going on in the world. You know that we have the borders are hemorrhaging, and the country is being flooded with illegal aliens that don't really care about the United States, people that don't want to become Americans. They just want to come here and get free stuff. They don't want to work, and those that do work, they take their money tax-free and send it back to wherever it is they came from. Those who do want to come to the country legally have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars in application fees and visa permit fees, and they hire attorneys and so forth. But the ones who want to come here illegally, just come on in. Well, there's that. Okay, Paul, come on, you're beating a dead horse, man. We know that that's the situation. Okay, let me see. We have Islamic goat rapist terrorists all over the world killing people, even within our own borders. And they tell us that they're going to do it. They telegraph their intent, and then we're like, oh, we're going to monitor them. We got J. Jonah Johnson telling us how we can't keep these little Johnny Jihads out of the country, but never fear, we're going to monitor them while they're here. Oh, well, that makes me feel a whole lot better. Do I need to remind you that currently that the United States government is billions and billions of dollars in debt? We're spending billions of dollars more than we take in, and there's no end in sight? Do I need to remind you of that? Oh, no, come on now. The dollar means next to nothing worldwide, whereas, when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, even in the 90s, the dollar was strong worldwide. It was the currency of note. And now we see countries like Russia and China and Europe, they look at the dollar and they're like, yeah, we're really not so much interested in that anymore because we don't have any real faith in you as a country. So we got that. But other than that, everything in America is great. There are no real problems. Sure. I mean, you see things in the news about terrorism and that, but it's not that big of a deal, right? We're going to go ahead and make sure that we're going to give Iran a nuclear weapon so that we don't have to go to war with them. Because what was the logic that we were given by the Hollywood left? If we don't allow Iran to develop a nuclear weapon, we'll have to go to war with them, and that will be bad. Because somehow, overnight, apparently, Iran is no longer our mortal enemy. And when they have thousands of people chanting in the streets of Tehran, death to America, that's not really what they mean. Okay, all right, let me get that. Well, with all the things going on in the United States of America, thank the Lord that we have forward-thinking leaders and politicians like Governor Jerry Brown. Because Jerry Brown knows what is important. He knows how to tackle the major issues that we're dealing with as a nation, as a state. I mean, if you're sitting out there in the People's Republic of California, you might be thinking, isn't our state bankrupt? Oh, well, kind of bankrupt, but we're cooking the books. Don't worry about that. And you say, if you're in Southern California, you're like, aren't we in like a huge drought and we're running out of water and we have restrictions and we're dumping like 1 billion plastic balls into our reservoirs to keep them from evaporating or something. Well, yeah, there's that. And you're like, well, but other than that, there's no problem in California, right? I mean, everything's great. We don't have wildfires, mudslides, nothing like that. We have a serious problem in California, and thank the Lord we have courageous leaders like Jerry Brown to step forward and to deal with these problems head on. From the LATimes.com politics, California schools barred from using Redskins as a team name or mascot. Thank the Lord that someone has had the courage to step forward and to sign their name on a piece of legislation forbidding the use of the word Redskins. Whew. Man, I can see it now. The rivers and fountains are going to open up. There's going to be more water in California. The debt is going to be reduced. All the wildfires are going to end because California became the first state in the nation to pass a law prohibiting public schools from using the term Redskin as a team name or mascot. Governor Jerry Brown, the courageous one, on Sunday approved a measure barring the use of the term that many Native Americans find offensive, but vetoed a separate measure that would have barred public properties from being named after individuals associated with the Confederacy. Okay. As of January 1st, 2017, all public schools will be barred from using the term Redskin, which many Native Americans consider a racial slur. And I want to say congratulations to the Native American Indian population of America for jumping on the victim bandwagon and making sure that everyone knows that in America, it's more important to be a victim than anything else. Oh, the measure by Assemblyman Luis Alejo, Democrat, Watsonville, will allow schools to use materials that contain the term such as uniforms, will allow schools that use materials that contain the term such as uniforms to phase out their use to alleviate cost concerns. So bad news for the, Smithville Redskins. Those new band uniforms you just bought, they're only going to be good for another year, and then you're going to have to burn them. The law will affect 4 California high schools in Merced, Calaveras, Tulare, and Madera counties. So they took the time to pass a law because a grand total of 4 high schools within the People's Republic of California, a grand total of 4 were using the name Redskin.
Well, you can't hurt people's feelings. Why do you just want to hurt people's feelings? That's all you want to do.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? 4 high schools in the entire state of California. There's got to be thousands. So we went through because apparently there's nothing else going on in California that would require the attention of the congressmen, senators, and legislators.
Yeah, but this requires no thought. This is easy.
Oh, here we go. Let's go.
Because people can't...
here we go. Oneida Indian Nation Representative Ray Halberter and the National Congress of American Indians. Riddle me this, Batman. How is it that honkies and white people and that we're not allowed to use the term Indian, but they use the term Indian in the name of their own group? It doesn't say the National Congress of Native Americans. It says the National Congress of American Indians, Executive Director Jackie Pata. Am I insane, or did I just read that people, the Oneida Indian Nation representation, it doesn't say the Oneida Native American representative, it says Oneida Indian Nation. So people whose great-great-great-great-great-grandparents were born in this country before it actually was a country, when it was just like a bunch of land, they can call themselves Indians. They can call themselves the American Indian Council, the National Indian Council. But you, paleface, if you use the term Indian, that's insensitive and racist, and you have to say Native American. Am I getting that right? Are you digging on that, Jared? Or am I crazy? Is that kind of like Black History Month, but you can't say black people, you have to say African Americans, but we have a Black History Month? Why don't we have an African American History Month? Because that would include people from South Africa and Egypt and Libya and Tunisia
And Morocco.
and Morocco. You know, those people are actually African Americans too. People from Johannesburg who come here to live are African Americans.
Where's Rovar from?
He's from South Africa.
I mean,
Robbie.
Do you know where?
I don't know what city he's from, but he's from South Africa.
Yeah.
He's a Caucasian African American.
So in other news, Brown also approved laws that will ban professional baseball players from using chewing tobacco on the playing field of major league stadiums. He authorized state employees to use ride-hailing services such as Uber and Lyft, and short-term rentals such as Airbnb while traveling on state business. Man, these people got some free press. And he also is legalizing the use of electronic skateboards, because that is a huge problem. All those three.
He's
those three
legalizing the use of. Well, I'm glad that he took the time to legalize it.
Wow. Well, you know, people could get electrocuted from that, and then they would fall into traffic because they're getting electrocuted, and then they would die because they got hit by a car.
Electronic skateboards.
So I don't understand why he would want to kill people.
Electronic, is that like a hover round or whatever? Or what are those? What are those things that people stand on and they have like little electric motors and just so they don't have to exercise their leg muscles?
A scooter?
No, I saw somebody the other day.
Segway?
No, it wasn't a Segway. It was just a thing that you stand on.
Oh, those little thingies that have the two wheels and
yeah, you just like balance on it and
yeah, I don't know. Those are kind of cool though.
Yeah,
I would use one. I saw somebody at the fights when I fought in WFC in Baton Rouge. One of the fighters was at weigh-ins with it. I was like, man, that's genius because you don't have to walk. You can just stand there and lean forward, and when you're cutting weight, you're already tired. You don't want to be walking.
That's right. You don't want to be walking. Maybe we get you a chair that had wheels on it, and we can push you around in that.
Yeah, but then I'd have to have another person to push me.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and all of you psychotic and mentally ill people out there in the People's Republic of California, that's it. That's all we have to talk about today. And thank the Lord for the courage of leaders like Jerry Brown. Remember, kids, you're a beginner once, but what should you be? Well, you should be a student for life.